We are running through the top 5 stories at Comicbook.com at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. in Sydney. Thanks for watching Comic Book Now. Yeah, we're global. It's 11 a.m. in Sydney. I appreciate our Australian viewers, that's for sure. Good day, mates. I'm your host, Brandon Davis. Call me BD. Welcome to Comic Book Now, joined by Charlie Ridgely.
What's up, everybody? Hey, shout out to Reese Williams, and congrats on your team FA Cup draw. That's good news.
Global. I tried to tell you guys. And before we start the show, we have a very special shout out today. Hey, Adam Barlow, loyal viewer, happy birthday, my man. Your wife, Amy, hit me up on Twitter, and she said, hey, can you wish Adam a happy birthday? That's what we're doing. 40th birthday. Good for him.
That's a big one, man. That's a big one. Happy birthday to Mr. Barlow.
He's, that's pretty cool. Thanks for watching, Adam. Happy birthday. Hope it's great. I think on that note, we will get to the news.
Let's do it.
All right. Our top story of the day, the Cloak and Dagger have been cast for the upcoming Marvel series on Freeform. A couple of young actors are taking on the roles. Olivia Holt and Aubrey Joseph are going to step in to portray the two teenagers who suddenly gain superpowers and fall in love. I mean, that's what happens to every kid, right? Here's what they have to say. The characters of Tandy and Taron have always stood out to me ever since I first met them in the pages of Marvel Comics when I was a boy. When Olivia and Aubrey read for the roles, these characters leapt off the page. We're so excited to see what these talented young actors bring to the Marvel Universe. That's from executive producer and showrunner Joe Pakaski. Cloak and Dagger will call Freeform home, and it sounds like it will be similar to Freeform's other successful young superhero series, Beyond, which I know a few staff members here at Comicbook.com are very fond of. A release date is yet to be announced. How about the Han Solo movie, though? The Han Solo movie has begun production. It's official. Chris Miller took to Twitter to share this image of a slate from the set of the upcoming Star Wars story with a witty little caption, Han shot first, obviously referencing the big question of who shot first between Han and Greeno, but obviously not obvious enough for me to not have to explain it. With Alden Ehrenreich stepping in to portray Han Solo, the production is beginning in January of 2017. That's now for a May of 2018 release. That's later. Special effects, anybody? I think they're going to pour a lot in there. Next up, a possible new Wolverine has been cast. No, not really, so sit back down. I didn't mean to get you all excited. But there's a possible candidate for the role, and I like it. It's none other than Kingsman breakout Taron Egerton. That's right, Eggsy himself is posing as his Eddie the Eagle co-star Hugh Jackman's iconic X-Men character, and doing a pretty good job of it for not having sat through hours of makeup, months of working out, and weeks of torture from scientists to be injected with adamantium. This new photo comes from Egerton's Twitter account, of course, with the arrows from his upcoming Robin Hood film First Look. Anybody? Standing in for Wolvie's claws. It's all good. It's all in good fun, and Egerton and Jackman are good friends off screen. Not good friends, though, Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. AJ Styles and John Cena, Braun Strowman, and just about anybody. The scores were settled at Royal Rumble last night, and we have a number one contender for WrestleMania, and yes, we are going to talk a little bit of WWE here in Comic Book Now. Charlie, we watched Royal Rumble together. What'd you think?
We did. I'm not a big wrestling guy. I jumped into it. I had some fun in the event as a whole. The Rumble match, not so much. I wasn't super into it.
All right, growing up, I wanted to be a wrestler more than anything in the world. The Royal Rumble was like an event. And I was kind of let down by the Rumble itself. I thought it could have been more eventful, like seeing Roman Reigns pay off. But I really, really enjoyed the John Cena winning the title back. Oh, yeah. That's fact. John Cena winning the title, that's the 16th time. He matches Ric Flair for most times as WWE champion.
That's unreal.
Look at this. He hit the attitude adjustment off the top rope, and anybody who's ever criticized John Cena's wrestling was shut down because he did that. Then he flip power bombed AJ. It was an amazing match. But Randy Orton came out on top of the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and Jesus Cruz on Facebook has a great comment. He just yelled Goldberg.
Speaking of the Royal Rumble, Randy won. I kind of have a feeling like maybe Goldberg was supposed to win. I
did too.
He went over the top rope and he didn't. I thought he was supposed to hang on. Maybe not win. I don't think he was supposed to be eliminated.
When they showed the close-up on his feet, they're not going to do that if he's going to touch the ground. That was supposed to show, he's not going to. And I just don't think Goldberg could hold himself up like he used to.
Yeah, my favorite match of the night, though, was easily Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns. That match was epic. I mean, not that I was dying to see these two show down, but the match itself was amazing until the interference at the end. Yeah, I thought the powerbomb through the table, through the 9 chairs, or however many chairs it was, that was really cool. Anyway, if you guys want to talk WWE and read all about it, we have a couple experts at the site. Go to comicbook.com/WWE. We picked Royal Rumble apart. We made predictions for what's coming up and everything. So I suggest going over there and watch Over the Ropes. It's our podcast. We do it. It's a podcast and it's a daily show we do with Tori and Brandon and all the WWE folk here at ComicBook.com. So I suggest checking that out. I'm going to get back to our 5th story. When The Walking Dead returns, it will do so with Greg Nicotero, the executive producer and VFX guru, helming its mid-season 7 premiere, and extended minutes are going to be packed onto the first 3 episodes of the back half. Episode 709 will run 73 minutes, 710 will run 66 minutes, and 711 will run for 68 minutes. At this rate, it seems like it would be more news and more of a surprise if The Walking Dead fits into the 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. parameters with all of the extended episodes coming in Season 7. But most fans aren't complaining, except the ones who really hate commercials, because 8 more minutes of show and 2 more minutes of commercial isn't enough for them. In any case, I'll be watching episode 709 tomorrow afternoon, which I'm super excited about. And I'm really looking forward to Rick Grimes meeting King Ezekiel. That's going to be amazing.
I've been waiting for this since the beginning of Season 7. We knew that Rick and Ezekiel were going to meet, and we've been plugging away for 8 episodes. I'm so excited to see it tomorrow.
Yeah, but we're not going to give you any spoilers. Sorry about that. I'm legal. Like, they'll shoot me. Like, they'll treat me like a walker, and they will put me down. But speaking of The Walking Dead, we are happy to announce the winner of our epic giveaway from last week's episodes of Comic Book Now. We asked you to send us your best impressions of Negan in videos 10 seconds or less, and our winner by ComicBook.com selection and popular vote is Ryan Wiltberger. Ryan will be joining me on the Walker Stalker Cruise this Friday to Monday, which is going to be a ton of fun. It still has rooms available. If you're looking to set sail, go to WalkerStalkerCruise.com. But his smashing entry, it was more than 10 seconds long. We only showed 10 seconds of it to qualify. But right now, we're going to watch the entire extended version. You're not going to believe the production value that this guy put together.
You can breathe. You can blink. And you can cry. Hell, you're all gonna be doing that. Taking it like a champ! Suck my nuts! Haha, did you hear that? He said, suck my nuts! Hey, buddy, are you still there? I mean, I just don't know. It seems as if you're trying to speak. But you just took a hell of a hit. I mean, I just cracked your skull so hard, your eyeball just popped out. I mean, it is gross as
Ryan, I would really appreciate it if you would tone down the violence for the next time you submit something, seriously. But before we toss it over to the comment section for questions, comments, concerns, and Scott Eastwood, we want to share a segment we put together in which we ranked all of the best Jokers from TV and movies. Go ahead and enjoy the lovely voice of Chris Killian, and let us know your favorite Joker in the comments while you watch.
The Joker is kind of like the Macbeth of comic books. He's almost Shakespearean in scope, with many notable actors desiring to play the iconic villain while only a special few ever earn the opportunity. The character's been interpreted time and again in animation and film, and here's who we chose as the top 5 best actors to portray the Joker. We start our list off with a surprise choice, Michael Emerson from The Dark Knight Returns. Emerson, most famous for his role in Lost, offered a much more subdued tone to the role than other actors before him, which effectively delivers an unsettling creepiness. Try to watch the scene where he breaks his own neck and not feel a little uneasy. At number 4, we've got the OG Joker himself, Cesar Romero. Once you get past the makeup-caked mustache, Cesar Romero's cackling Joker was the blueprint from which all other Jokers began, defining the character in the minds of fans for over 2 decades until we get to our number 3 choice, Jack Nicholson. Jack's over-the-top portrayal transformed the Joker from a blissful prankster into a maniacal scene stealer, pushing the exuberant lunacy of the Joker farther with every devilish grin. Number 2, Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight. The length that Heath Ledger went to methodically get into character is the stuff of legend. He kept a Joker diary and locked himself in a hotel room for a month to perfect the character's anarchic voice. Sadly, he wasn't able to reprise the role due to his passing, but his efforts were rewarded with a posthumous Oscar. And our number 1 choice for the best Joker belongs to who else? Mark Hamill. Since the animated series, Hamill has voiced the Clown Prince of Crime dozens of times, and for good reason. The ability to transition his laughter from whimsical into sinister at the drop of a hat is now synonymous with the character. So much so that it's next to impossible to hear anyone else's voice when Joker pops up in the comics. Is there any other actors you think should have been on this list? Let us know in the comments.
That's not an easy list to make up.
No, it's not.
I'm sure we're getting a couple comments about Jared Leto not being on there. I know a lot
Not
of
yet,
people
actually.
liked him.
I
But
think more people are upset about Heath Ledger being number 2.
that's the thing. For me, it's so tough between Mark
It is-
Hamill and
it's
Heath
really
Ledger.
tough.
That's like, I feel like it's and I love the rest of them, but I feel like there is a considerable gap from 2 to 3 there.
Now, if we're being honest here, though, I mean, I don't disagree with this list as much, but for me, Jack Nicholson is my Joker. I mean, Jack Nicholson is the guy I grew up watching. He's the guy I go back to and watch again and again. He's always going to be the Joker to me.
Heath Ledger, I think, might be my number one. And I know a lot of people, he's not comic book Joker. No, I love that portrayal.
I love his portrayal.
All right, let's turn it over. Questions, comments,
All right,
concerns.
you guys are blowing up. I love it. Keep going. Remember, here on Facebook or on Twitter at #CBNow at any point throughout the day, and we'll read your questions. Real quick, just talking about Cloak and Dagger, William Booker wanted to know, what will Cloak and Dagger be on? It'll be on Freeform, which used to be ABC Family. So that's going to be where you can watch that whenever it ends up coming on the air. But we do have one from Facebook from Adam Hardy. And Adam Hardy wants to know if we think that we will get a Flashpoint movie in the DCEU. Like, I know the Flashpoint show, the Flash just aired that at the beginning of this season. What do you think about in the movie universe? I
don't know if we'll see a Flashpoint movie, but I think we're absolutely going to see the Flashpoint storyline, or we were going to before all this course correction started. I feel like that's exactly the seeds they were planting in Batman vs. Superman, with the Flash coming back in time. He's got the time travel suit. Maybe you have this apocalyptic world with Darkseid and everything coming. I think they're setting it up.
I would really like to see it, and especially if Jeffrey Dean Morgan can stay on as Thomas Wayne. I would love to see him in that heroic Batman role.
You don't cast Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Thomas Wayne for no reason. You don't do that. Give us Negan Batman, people. I mean, that would be the best thing. I mean, that's the best thing the DCEU can do, in my opinion.
Lucille's a bat.
But how
Batman.
Right, exactly. How let down were you by the Flashpoint on the CW?
I was
it has bounced back, but it got drawn out, and it was
it had its high points. I would have liked to see the Flashpoint become a whole season. There's so much story to tell in the Flashpoint episode.
Right.
And they spent 1 hour. And
it was one episode, and then it was Aftermath.
Right.
And that was what fans wanted to see, this whole Flashpoint effect on Arrow and all these different things and all these different factors made it so the Flashpoint could only be one episode on Flash, and you didn't get the comic book Flashpoint. I feel like the DCEU is taking steps in making that happen.
Yeah, and then we'll see what happens.
I hope.
Watson Smith, hey to you as well. Let's see. Over on Twitter, like I said, you can tweet us anytime at #CBNow. Jeff Gulage wants to know any word on what trailers that are going to be playing during the Super Bowl this year. So Sunday, February 5th, this coming Sunday, we got the big game, Falcons-Patriots. What trailers do you think we're going to see?
I think at this point it's mostly speculation, but I'm expecting and hoping a Justice League trailer drops. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Logan TV spot. Wonder Woman has to start its push. Yep. Guardians of the Galaxy is due for a new trailer. I definitely think we're going to see something Guardians related. I can't imagine Marvel with 3 movies this year skips the biggest, the most eyeballs in one place of anywhere. I don't think we'll actually see a Guardians trailer. If you remember with Iron Man 3 specifically, they did the tune into the Super Bowl for the next Iron Man 3 trailer, and all it was Robert Downey Jr. looking at the camera, taking the glasses off, and then it said, go to Facebook now to see the full trailer. We'll probably see something along those lines.
They'll pay for a small spot, but then they'll end up getting the recognition of a full 2 minute
and they'll have 24 million views before the game's even over.
Yeah.
But I also think we'll see Kong Skull Island probably.
Okay.
There's a couple movies over the summer that Fast and the Furious we're definitely going to see.
I would be so surprised if we went the entire Super Bowl and didn't get a Fate of the Furious.
We're going to.
They're absolutely going to.
That's one of the Fast and Furious' go-to. They always advertise the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they're going to get that stuff. And I mean, and I think The Mummy is also due for a trailer. I think they've got a lot of building to do with that monster universe.
Yep.
They've got to have something. The one that I'm going to bet the most on, though, is the Wonder Woman TV spot. I think we're really due for one of those 30-second spots.
Making bets out here.
Hey, I learned my lesson. All right. Niam Lafferty wants to, I got a Walking Dead question for you here. Niam Lafferty wants to know if you think Negan will die in the last episode. I'm assuming of the series, because he's not going to die at the last episode of this season.
I'll tell you, there's not a chance Negan dies in season 7. Probably not in season 8 or season 9. I think Negan survives the show. I don't think Rick Grimes survives the show. He's definitely not going to die in season 7. If you read the comics, you know a lot of what to expect from Negan, but thank you for this question, because this is one I can go on for hours. I'm going to keep it short here. The Negan storyline is one of the best in the Walking Dead comics by a large margin. It's my favorite. It's my favorite part of the entire book. What they're doing with Negan, they're kind of turned him into an anti-hero. You don't want to admit that you like him, that you want him to be an ally of Rick, but he is so cool and he's such a good ally to have that I like what they're doing with Negan. I don't think they kill him on the show. I hope they follow that story, and we have enough show to get there. Yeah. And I hope we get either a mini-series of Negan's backstory or at least a full episode dedicated to Negan pre-apocalypse.
It's ridiculous because he's such a terrible person, but he is so likable. I can't watch The Walking Dead without loving every scene that Negan's in. Yeah. And I mean, I don't think that happens unless you get Jeffrey Dean Morgan playing him. And I think that if anyone else played that role, it would not turn out the way it did now. I think he's been perfect for it. Back over to Facebook questions. Let's see, Hannah Yvonne. She wants to know if there's been any talk about the Whisperer, since we're on the Walking Dead train right now.
How about that?
What do you think? I know Scott Gimple had some stuff to say about the Whisperers coming to the show.
Well, Hannah, I think I'm a little disappointed in your missed opportunity of using the term whispers about the Whisperers. That should have happened. But talking to the Whisperers, it's not going to happen anytime soon. Scott Gimple, when I talked to him, he said they could arrive early. But Gimple also likes to play with our expectations a little bit. He's the showrunner. It's his job. He's not going to tell you what's coming or what's not coming. People kind of expected it when we saw the tease of the head on the spike. That was just a zombie head outside of the sanctuary. And there was the reference in season 3, but Morgan, when he said people wearing dead people's faces, Gimple also admitted that was not intentional. They might tie it together, but that wasn't intentional. I hope they do, but I wouldn't expect the Whisperers in season 7. We have the All-Out War storyline to get through.
Now,
it's not going to happen right now.
Manny King has a really controversial opinion here. I want to know your thoughts and see if we agree on this.
I love controversy.
Manny King says that the Walking Dead comic is better than the Walking Dead show. Now both are very highly respected in their fields.
Right.
You know, one show's the most watched on Sunday nights. One is one of the biggest selling comics of all time. Which do you think? Which do you think takes the crown?
That's such a
Can
tough
you choose?
choice because it's tough because there's elements of both. Like this is so tough. I think the comic gets away with more, which gives it an advantage, and it also has it sets the bar. And it sets your expectations, and when the show deviates from that, it's easy to get frustrated. So it's easy to come out here and say the comic is better. I would never not read the comic, so I can't say I don't. I think it's easier for me to say the comic is better, but I don't think I could actually pick one because what if you watched the show before you read the comic? It's a completely different experience, and you might say, "I wish they did that in the comic." But I just feel like they get away with more in the comics.
Yeah, I agree with getting away with, and I said this to you earlier, and I am going to make a decision. I'm going to go ahead and say, in my opinion, I think the comics are better than the show. I agree with you guys. Steven Rodriguez had the same opinion. I love both. I love both dearly. And I think the performances in the show,
Right.
I mean, without Andy Lincoln, he brought Rick to life in such an awesome way.
Yeah.
But
the whole cast.
there's so many times when I've looked at the show and said, I wish they wouldn't have done that. I wish they would have done it differently.
But
there's
that's
not
because
one time in the comic that I said that.
You only said that because of the comic.
No, but I read the comics after I started watching the show. I had watched 6 seasons of the show.
If you get frustrated by The Walking Dead, you also get frustrated by the comic. This one of the biggest complaints of season 7. One of the biggest complaints of season 7 was the pacing. Every time I read a Walking Dead comic, I get to the last page and I'm like, oh, cliffhanger! I have to read next week. But what really happened this month? It's just Kirkman's style of writing.
The only time I've been remotely disappointed in the comic was the most recent issue, the conclusion of the Whisperer War. I was really let down by that. But that's the only time I have.
Big issue
really
this week.
deviated.
I think it's going to pay off. Big
Reese
issue.
Williams, which book to film adaptation is the best? I'm not going to sit and argue about it. Sin City is really, really accurate though to its
Which
comic
comic book adaptation?
Which book to film? So I'm sticking comic books. Sin City was almost dead on from the comics onto the screen.
Deadpool was really good.
Deadpool was really good. All right, let's see. What other questions we got? Jordan Evans, we're going to go back to Marvel. We're going to go to Marvel TV. Jordan Evans wants to know, do you think one of the major characters in the Defenders will die in the Defenders series?
Is that one of the 4 we're seeing on there right now? I don't think one of them will die. I think we have a lot more to do. I think they're all going to do more seasons and everything. I don't think anyone will die. I think there will be probably an important death. Maybe, what's Matt Murdock's, the chicken in Daredevil?
Oh,
I
was thinking his buddy. I was thinking
Foggy.
I was thinking Foggy might bite. Foggy or the Night Nurse. I think they've put the Night Nurse in some things. Rosario Dawson is a big actress. She can move on to other things. That would really hit fans in the gut.
I'd be sad if
to
Foggy.
go away.
Absolutely. I'd be more sad if Foggy.
Foggy would be probably the biggest hit outside of those 4 main characters. But like you said, they're all coming back for more seasons. That's not going to change. That's definitely not going to change. Let's see here. Freddie Gonzalez had a great question here on Facebook. And I think we have some thoughts on this. He said, if Marvel keeps pushing to make more live-action TV shows, which they're doing now with Cloak and Dagger, The Runaways, things like that, do you think that they'll push harder for season 2 of Constantine on the DC side?
No, I don't think that DC is really influenced by Marvel or vice versa. DC has found so much success on television already with Arrow, Flash, Legend.
The CW verse is
Supergirl. I mean, the DC TV shows are already very successful. They're not going to base any decisions on Marvel. I don't think Constantine is dead.
No.
I think that the character might come back or the show might come back somehow.
I think that he'll work its way into the CW because he exists in that universe. We've already seen that. We've seen him on Arrow. What I think they have the animated show with Constantine moving forward. They're going to use him very much in that, and I think we're prepping to see Constantine on the big screen, and that's where they're really going to focus on him.
Right.
Like you said, you mentioned a week or two ago, you and I were talking about the MCU, and you said the MCU is not going to make any decisions based on what DC does,
right,
because they've been so successful, and DC's they're just kind of starting. And I think the same is with the TV side, but for DC, I don't think that DC is going to adjust their plans based on what Marvel's doing.
Yeah, I don't think either of them act based on what either of them do. I really don't.
All right, let's go one more question. I know I've said Reese's name a lot here, but Reese always comments. Shout out to Reese. You're always around, always talking to us. He wants to know what our top 5 most anticipated films are this year. It doesn't have to be a comic movie. It can be a regular movie. We're not going to go top 5 because you and I can sit and talk all day about movies. But let's just talk about a couple here that we are really, really excited about.
To name a few off the top of my head, you've got Wonder Woman, Justice League, Thor Ragnarok, Spider-Man Homecoming, Guardians of the Galaxy, Kong Skull Island, Kingsman 2.
Kingsman 2 is in my top 5.
Fate of the Furious,
100%.
guys, and Triple X already came out?
Dude, I love that. I don't care what you say. I love Triple X.
I think of those, Kong Skull Island will turn out to be one of the best movies this year. I think Justice League has potential to be one of the best. It's obviously going to be one of the biggest. Thor Ragnarok, what I've seen from that film, looks fantastic. The first take on Spider-Man in the MCU in a standalone is exciting. I hope Wonder Woman's good. I don't know enough about it. I know what everyone else knows with trailers and whatnot.
I think as far as the comic book stuff
Power
goes,
Rangers could be really good.
I'm excited about Power Rangers, but I'm very nervous about Power Rangers. I'm very nervous to what they're
right,
gonna
but
do
that
with
last trailer,
it was really good, and I'm
awesome.
holding out hope. I'm a little concerned, but I'm excited about it. I think that Logan is definitely on my top of the list. And then The Mummy. I mean, Universal's kicking off a monsters universe. And if you're a horror fan, to see all these monsters, to see Jekyll and Hyde, to see The Mummy, to see Frankenstein, all of them in a connected universe, that's awesome. And if all of that universe
there's one we're
hinges
not
on,
naming. There's one we haven't named. Star Wars, The Last Jedi.
To be honest, I completely forgot Star Wars. In this discussion, I completely forgot Star Wars was even coming out.
It's one of the last movies this year, but Star Wars,
There's
The Last
so
Jedi.
many good movies. We thought 2016 was awesome for movies.
2017 is probably going to be. There will be more money spent at the box office in 2017 than any year before.
I think it's going to do that every year, but it's going to be nuts.
I don't know. 2017 is
nuts.
a big year. All right, guys. I see the questions, comments. They're still rolling in. Please, if you want to talk more, hit us up on Twitter at Charlie Ridgely, at Brandon Davies PD. Ryan Wiltberger, I'll see you on Friday, man. See you in Miami. We're going on a cruise. Thank you so much to everybody who submitted to our Walker Stalker contest. And thank you to everybody who watched the show today. We'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for Comic Book Now.